Does someone want to help? Notain HaTorah. Notain? What do you mean notain? No entertainment? Is it half a word, a whole word? Is it an in-between word? What do you mean? Notain. What does that word mean? Notain. To pertain to something, obtain something, or to note something. What does it mean, notain, no train? I mean, when I write it down, it says no train, notain. To notain something is to hold it within you. Is that what it means? I need to know. Because if it is to notain with inside you, to hold the note, unless I made that up, also goes with the word Havtorah. It's a Hebrew prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav lahadikner shel Chanukah. Something about Havtorah. I don't remember which one it is. So I know notain, whatever it might mean. And in French, you can almost say the word ours as notre. Notre Dame. Notre Damus. The dame was us. He was a dame. He was a beaver. Beaver or lever. Don't forget, you put your hands between your legs. You warm the digits up. Okay? You go into hell, they call them great balls of fire. Well, that's the only part of man you know. Man can dress any way he wants, but unless you take his pants off, you don't know if he's a man or a woman. What does she have to do? Shave? You see in Hollywood, Mrs. Doubtfire, well, you could have doubted it the whole way through as he was trying to hold his fire right inside of him because he was in love with his wife. But anyways, do you like the duck and the duck tail, and here's a duck upside down going the other way? Which way are they going? Or are they turning round and round? You see the letter? It's the letter S. E-S. E-S, in which, you know what's funny about, oh my God, I don't want to lose my head. Not only that, the L letter, what the L letter does, what the ES letters do, because of the letter E. And if Roman numerals didn't say this, then maybe I wouldn't either. Where instead of putting the 1 number, okay, they now put the 5 number, because that S is 19. But regardless, it looks like a 5. We have, there's your other S. Here's your other one. This is a smaller rotation. And if you really take a look, the difference inside, look. I can finish this off to look like an E. I got a spot here, flat here. I got a flat here on that time. This is what's inside of it. This is what the difference is of looking at either the shape of the D, which holds the difference of the passage of which is the E electronic world. We divided them up and one jumped into one hoop, the other jumped into the other hoop. But they're still D's, but they're inside the E. It's a smaller D of the same size, the same shape as a capital D inside a small E. I like to know what's hanging inside a G. You know, I'm going to tell you a little bit about G. Oh my God, where the G point is. If you wanted to take G7, your next door neighbor is either 6, and who is 6 about who? You have to know what 6 is all about, what you want 6 to be, not what I want 6 to be, because I can just tell you it's 2 sides of man's brain, which actually can be 1, 2, 3, or start counting down there. 2 nuts, 1 shaft, gets hard, gets soft. When there's too much in the nuts, gets hard. Not enough in the nuts, he starts to think, the man starts to think. Information, and his dick goes down as he starts to think again. Information, and while his nuts are turning around in there, this thing is going up and down, and the guy's saying, shit, I can't stop thinking about her all day. Hello? What were you thinking all day? Get your mind off of things? The Spirit says, you know what? We need an exalting and an exit to let off steam. So they let the dick get hot, and then they let it go down again, because you gauge yourself from here. I mean, we got to have some sort of thermostat. How do we take care of the overheating? We perspire, but hey man, we're nuts to begin with, so why not get rid of them the right way? So now we know where E can be while E turns. Don't forget, if this was round, you know what this would be? This part here would be the striped part of the pool balls. These are your stripes and solids. This is the ball that goes all the way around. You don't see what's happening on the inside, but that striped part shows you a number. It shows you the position of the number, and it's telling you what that ball is doing. This side is down, this side is up. This is almost like, what do you call it? Power balls or something? Power balls, yeah! I guess we now got it right. We brought in Pikachu. Pikachu is yellow, and he says now we got power balls. As he combs back the red part of his fur. Talking about earlobes, Carol Burnett, CB, it's a code for communication through the ear. Ring-a-ding-ding, hello, one ring-a-dingy, hello to the earlobe, number piano. She connects to the piano, the earlobe. Check this out. Ear is 24. Earth becomes the TH that goes with ear. That's how I know the two parts of the piano. First you get the 24. That's the cat part. That's the hearing part. That's the scratch that will take the information and scratch it back out as you bark out the orders from every time. Come on, let me in. Let me in, let me in. Where am I? Where am I? I'm a little lost. I'm already in. Oh my God, if I was in the 7th gate, I'd be in trouble. Do you know why? A rectification. I didn't say an erection. I said a rectification. Stop mixing up my words before I notain HaTorah on top of you. The other thing I wanted to tell you is there was a guy in my shop. He was in my shop today. Well, he wasn't in my shop, but you know what I'm talking about. I can't make this joke too stupid because you've heard it too many times before. Don't laugh and move to the back of the bed. I see your wife wants to watch. That's why I don't put any makeup on. I don't want to crack the screen. I don't know whether I get better looking or uglier, but I know I fit right in between. You know how I know? The camera's on both sides. Anyways, besides that, we were talking about the number 7, and we were talking about moving back in the bed. I don't know why I brought this up. I forgot about something else now. Another thing I wanted to show you about this, the pool ball and the Pikachu. If you ever take a look, yellow next to red, next to blue. Blue is an about. It's an electronic. It's not always everywhere. It's not doing the act. The electricity does not do the act. You do the act, you think it all out, the electric powers it up, it makes the body move, it harmonizes with the body, and it starts to move his fingers, his hands, etc. We were talking about the digits before, and we were talking about earlobes and pianos. From the left to right, we get 20 for the cat, and then from the right to left, we get 28 keys falling on CD. You fall on the C with 24, you fall on the D with 28. 2 and 8 is 1, you get 1, 4, you equal 5. 2 and 4, you fall on 3, you get 234, man, you're in jail. 2, 3, 4, that is the piano, my friend. Why? Because 1 connects to 7. And 7 connects to 1, as 7 connects to 6, and 1 connects to 2. They all got a partner. If we were on the roulette table, I'd show you how to make those bets. Okay? This is number 7. Now, with number 7, I give 7 the 0. So if the 7th gate was where the woman was, where she had the egg, and I had the hook of the sperm, and the hook of the sperm went and got the egg over here. Okay, you see the division already marks 10, right? Because number 8 in French, it says huître, huître. And you think about oysters, and every time I think about oysters, I go, no, I can't eat the oysters. It's just going to get me horny, and then I'm going to lose all the boys, and I'll forget. And I don't want to forget. Don't you see how great I'm remembering lately? Don't want to forget. Those boys, they'll tell me when they want to go. Apparently, they sometimes leave in your sleep. I'd like that to happen so I can continue on with a perfect day. 7 over O could be the jointure where you go inside the woman and you meet, not the round hole, but you meet this. A spare versus a strike. If you got a strike, you're going up the ass. If you got a spare, you're going up the front. How do I know? A spare only cuts it in half. It makes half a triangle. Who cares which way the triangle is? We know it looks like a triangle of some point. And they call it the U in the tear, and that's us. You know why they say U in the tear and that's us? Because my dick sticks up like a U. I got 2 balls that are in the earth, and that's us. It's the boys. It's the boys. We're playing balls and strikes. funny when we play baseball. Hold on, they're going to deliver the ball. Isn't that what he says? The pitcher's on the mound, he's going to deliver the ball. Hold on, we're giving signs. Of course, the doctor's going like this. Push, push, push. So he delivers, and he gets thrown to the batter, and he catches a ball. He threw a ball, he caught a ball, but the umpire said it's a strike. Must have got it right up the rear because he didn't see that one if it was a strike. And besides that, I saw a billy goat with an X on his asshole. And I got to say this stuff because if I'm not upfront and tell you what the truth is about the actual where is, then I ain't being truthful with you, and you might not be able to find and know where the wahoo is. We were talking about the earlobe and number 7. Then we were talking about 8. In French was huître. 9 in French says nous. It's also for number 9. It's also for number 9. See how 7 divided by the 8 digital over to number 9? 7 over 0. 8 should be actually over 9. This should be 9 over here. Why? Because we want to come back to the same number. What I did here is 0. I want to come back to 0, 7. 8, and 8 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be done, but I'm going to try and show you. So these 3 numbers have to flip-flop over each other in order to show the 7th gate. Within the 7th gate, man eats oysters, he gets horny, okay? He goes over where the 8 is again, because the 7th gate is where the 8 is. They both come. I mean, the 9 child is in the same gateway that you went in to plug her up. And all them fish went swimming somewhere and you were stupid for 2 days. Okay, no wonder the man can't pick anything up. How many times you want to ask him to think in one night? So we got 7, 8, okay, and 9. So in French you would go le wheat, okay, the wheat, the heat of the oven of the wheat, of something that knew was cooking in the oven, and then at the end of sept, huit, neuf, what wheat comes new, okay, is the in this, is the indication. In French it's in this. When you say in this, 7, 8, 9, and 10, push. In this means what shows you, like you're having a baby, you'll see the woman pregnant, you'll see her belly coming out round like a D. That's your in this. But it also means in 10, push, you're going to have a child. Number 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9, 24, and 10 equals 34. 3 and 4 is the spirit of one mind within the body of Saturn and the sandbox of Mars, with the electrical equipment and setup and the division of what beta does, the B letter. If you separate the letter B, it only looks like 13. So you got to connect up to this body that you just gave birth to, the in this. And then on the other end, right, they say ons or douze. So when you have the child, it says 13 ounces of booze. It also says 11, spirit, angel, and man, the connection of the spirit. The E and the E sitting on top of each other. Here's an E and here's an E. That's your 10 worlds. Red side connecting to the blue side. Did I jump off of earlobe where the piano key makes the choice of the entrance from one ear or the other? See the beak? Here's the beak and here's the tail. Here's the tail and here's the beak. L-O-B-E-S. We can also call it sobel or noblesse. It means the noble one. Now, why this is sobel, okay, and something about the Andes mountain. Why? Because a friend of ours passed away 30 years ago, and that was her name, okay, and it all reflects to it. And if I remember, then it must fit somewhere, otherwise I would not even think of it at all. Now other names are coming up, but I'm going to leave it alone. S over double D's. 4 and 4 is 8, and 19, 27 red. Well, because the E opens up the 55-yard line right over here. See D, 54, 54. This looks like a 5. This is the 4th letter. 5, 4, 5, 4. Okay, because they're on the 54 from both sides. And this is the 1, dividing up the lot. 7, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 7th gate opens up for the passage of what comes into the 8th world. And it looks like 7, 8, 9, 10. Le indice. But N, I don't say N, I said the index. The index, the warning of what it is the width. What do you mean it's the warning of the width? Well, width has two sides to it. It shows the lady's breasts getting larger. And then at the same time, when you say set width, 7 goes with 4. 4 up here and 4 up here is the dog pound. And she's having the child, which makes the D in front of her chest. She gets a B and a D. When a woman gets pregnant, it's BD and A actually. Actually, it's an I. It depends what you want to call down there. You want to call it the angel space? She's got a bad coming out. But she's got to bid on it. What does it mean to bid? Somehow this word B-I-D, B-A-D, B-E-D, could be B-E-D, the bed for which a child lays before the child becomes one of the spring chickens. But we all know that a spring chicken, isn't that a lovely young woman coming of age? Isn't that what a spring chicken is? We have to understand, because cock-a-doodle-doo, hey, at that time, like, we ain't looking where it's coming from, it'll all do so fine. The other thing I wanted to mention, we did not do the count on lobe 12. Remember, I talked about something yesterday about the L, taking the L from B-A-C-K and making it B-L-A-C-K, because the 12th letter stands for the queen. The 12th letter, the sound of what it is in French, says woman, her, and the 12th letter is 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is 3. It's the electric. So if it's the electric and the L is like this, if it turns around, it would be like an alternator of some sort, giving electric to all the spark plugs. I'm not sure, but I know whatever I say fits somewhere. If I don't ask myself the right question and get the right answer, then you might have it, because I probably do not. Anyways, we're going to take this. Oh my God. B, spirit, low world. The low world spirit. What does it mean? This might mean low world spirit. What does it tell you? Lobsters. Lobsters. Somehow these two ears are connected. There's a ring in each ear for something, for some reason, having to do with lobsters, because it says low-bess. Lobsters. I mean, you can't say it any clearer than lobsters. Lobes of the ears, pinching of the ear, pinching of the earring to put in. We have ear lobsters, because we hear with our ears. Lobsters might hear with their hands. I don't know. So we went from this to this. I want to go to something else. And look what I'm behind. Look what I'm behind. Look at all these pages. I had to rip out all these pages, because sometimes I just want it very neat. You want to see earlobe? Here's something to do with the earlobe. The piano goes from G to B, and it skips over A by 2 rings on each side. They can also use this and live on the inside, living only in the area of A. A minus, 7, all the way to 7.9, 0, 0.9, 1, or 2. In here, 1, 2, and the A. We only live between GA and B. That's it. That's the way it seems to be. And then if that's wrong, then replace this with B all the way over to G, because A lives in C. The Mayans, we haven't done. 3,114 from 5,125 leaves 2,011 years. We just passed that last year. That's the exact time it ended, right? 2011? 0 didn't count twice. We didn't count the 0. Somehow we didn't count. For every 1,000, you can't count the 0. But then forget about what I said right there. 114 is Abraham. It's 2 moons. It's creation of 31 and 14. The crossing of AC. A long, long time ago. Once upon a time. A long, long time ago. Before you actually really knew the complete story, all they have to do is switch a couple of words and the whole story is different. Do you know what's funny about this? And I'm going to end this maybe with the starting. Is if you multiply 3643 is not the answer. The answer is 7286 times 5. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 8 is 43. 43. 43. 5 by 2 is 10. Plus 4. 5 by 6 is 30. 0, 3. 5 by 8 is 40. You mark the 3, you put the 4. 5 by 2 is... Hold on a second. I'm doing it the wrong way. 5 by 6 is 30. 0 and 3. 5 by 8 is 40. 43 and 4. 5 by 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 4. 5 times 7 is 35 is 36. Okay. 3, 6, 4. 364 days for creation of 30. 36, 43. Jen, you know where it is. You have it 3 times in months. It shows up 3 times in months and it divides. And Mighty Messer, you also have this number a couple of times. Whichever way you want to go. And the other thing is this. You see the 0? It's 7286 and it's split right in the center. If it's split in the center, this will say 30 creation. If it's not, if you don't split it, this side and this side, this over here, this 0 has a decimal on it. This is not 7,286. This would be 728. Or it would be all decimals alongside of it, before and after. It's just a number, 4 numbers that fit between. 36 and 43, short line and Baltic. Excuse me, it's not short line and Baltic. If you go from go, you end up on short line, on 36. Otherwise, you end up on Park Place, because it's the 35th, which is short line. If you go 43, you end up on Baltic. Baltic, Park Place, plus 3. Zero, 3, 0. Jesus born, Baltic. Move 3 towards Baltic. Move back 3 towards Park Place. 36, 43, which is 5 times, or half the amount. 5 is always half. The minute you hit 5, your numbers will be half than the total amount. If you're 4, okay, it's between, it'll be below. If it's 6, it'll be above. But this is the halfway point between everything. This is the time of Jesus. 80 times 47 equals 3760. Plus 3 minus 3 when Jesus was born. He died at the age of 36. 383 is your digital division. Now I have a lot more. There's so much more. There's so much. So slow. I need to go so slow, but there is so much. I do not know what I'm missing. Even this design here. Do you see what it is? This angle was able to sit against this angle. This angle was on an angle. This angle is not on an angle. It's coming down on an angle, but it's not a flat surface. It's an angle across. This is an angle on line. This is cross line. There's a difference of size and distance between this corner and this corner, to where there is none between this corner and this corner. But to overlap this one, you will have to double the area space for this one that you would not have to do for this one to fit in between, whatever that is. Has anybody ever seen that extra piece on all the letters, right? Well, anytime you add a piece, certain letters can go back to back. The letter A, this is the letter A. I chopped off its leg, but at the same time it's a 4. It's leaning on the B. So now you can go AB. If it's a circle, it's going to have to say maybe a half round. Something and everything will explain whatever it is, whatever you're looking. There's an answer. We can understand what we need to do in order to ask the proper question, in order for our mind to be able to dig into computers and go, matrix, what is all this? And you punch it into matrix and you go, okay, oh, we're in matrix. We can never get out of matrix. You can't get out of matrix. But you definitely can learn all about soul and how soul fits into matrix, so you can control what they call is destiny of fate. What to choose, where to go, when to go, how to feel, what it's all going to be like. We're all going to be able to read eventually, if we want, if we try. The other thing, oh my God, I'm going to rip this out for now. Tractors. I was in the yard with a tractor, and the guy put on the brakes, and because there was a little bit of water on the brakes, it made the sound like Tyrannosaurus Rex. I swear, I thought there was a dinosaur. I told you, the universe is full of wormholes. That's the way I feel we travel. On the exterior of a certain distance, to me it's all wormholes, because we cannot possibly defrost all of space, and all of space must be running their own star systems, which within inside the glaciers that are created. Therefore, cut off a part of the glacier, let it fall down, catch it in a hook, let it melt the glacier, boom, voila, 10 million, 10 billion year old dinosaurs. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just hoping this video is going to work. America Pie. I drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. That song, okay, showed me death. For 30 years, that's all I thought about was forever and ever. There was one thing I wanted to say. I wrote it down. Now I lost it. Just give me one more second. I don't know where it is, but eventually I'll do it in my next one. The other thing that's come by, again, I must mention this, car and a line. You have the line, the fishing line, you have the telephone line, your car, the ark, the rainbow, the ark from your mind, the ark that comes within your body because you are part of the universe. The ark comes from the Carolinas. The car of the line that hooks us for communication, North and South Carolina. My heart is free with all respect. Another thing I started to mention that I did not finish was this letter over here, the lightning bolt. I saw it on a guy's shirt, and he works for an electric company, and it showed an eclair, a lightning bolt, an eclair. Has anybody ever gone out to see what an eclair is? It's a lightning, but what is an eclair when you go to the donut shop? And my brother had a friend, his name was, I have to say his name, his first name was Stuart, but I won't tell you his last name, okay? And STE is a saint, Saint Ward of the 3rd Ward of this country, just like Terry Stewart from the 3rd Ward. He is a saint from this country, from this world. If you're a saint of another world, you couldn't be here. You only can be in one at any time. See the way this, 5 and 2? But if you actually follow them, they're little dogs. Okay? This here you find at McDonald's. This is what happens when you take one and shove it in the middle. It breaks everything into half. Number one doubles everything. In fact, number 1 creates 5. Why does number 1 create 5? Because like this. I'm going to show you why number 1 creates 5. Okay. Here we have a circle. I'm going to take number 1 and go that way with the circle. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all areas. You have an area on top. You have the number 1, which is in the center. And you have the area on the bottom. So now you have one area here, one area here, one area here. That's 3. Now the space in between here and here is 4, and the space between here and here is 5. But the space we have here and here is 5 is 1 space, 1 wall, 1 space. Open wall, 1 space, 1 wall, 1 open space, 1 wall. Here's your 11. Here's your 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. Now, if you want to know how to do it another way, you can start drawing in the box. But we're not going to do that. I watched Lord of Wars last night. They mentioned French, Ukraine, Israeli. He needed those passports in order to sell his army equipment. Let me repeat, the Lord of War, War of Lords, British, French, Ukraine, Israeli. He needed those passports. But apparently, he went into Africa. And Africa is not the same, okay? There's a difference between selling white arms and black arms, in which those areas like South Africa where there is no law. Arms to areas where there is no law of war. You have war to restore. The other thing I wanted to mention, and I don't know where it's coming from, 5 times 5775 is 288.75. Why? Because the next partition you get on this will make 360 degrees. You only have 3/4 done. 1963 equals 9815. This will create 7286. This over here into the 7 world, that's what I forgot to show you. The reason the woman and the 7th gate go together, okay, is because this is an opening. This also creates the letter R for the king, for a royaume, for royalty, a king of royalty. And when there's a king of royalty, only one sits on the throne. Does anybody know where the throne is? That's right. It's in your wife's belly, having a child. There's one child sitting on the throne. Sometimes you'll get 2, but they share. It's perfect. You couldn't get any harmonious than that, sitting on the throne. So the other thing is here, number 70, the 7th gate, of where we penetrate for 8, to where from 8 comes out 9, in this. In this, even though it's French, we're saying, I'm giving you an in this, I'm going to give you a hint. This in French is 10. And when you write the 10, this is the pregnant woman, and this is the 9 child. X marks the spot he comes on out. He becomes 4, 9, 11, or 4, 9, and 2. I told you about the dinosaurs. I told you about 5 times this. I know why so many different things. 5 does not go into 1776 because 1776 is a focal point. And there's ways to get to 1776. You know you get to 1776? With 16, you get to 1776, bringing on the one light of the spirit host. There's other things to do, which is taking this 0.36 and dividing it and coming out with a certain answer. What is the answer? Do you want me to tell you what the answer is? Pluto and Mars. Pluto, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Who played? Who played? Who played in the 48 Super Bowl? Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Pluto. When you multiply 5184 times 5, you have 25,920, Jen. When you take this, the 9-2 birth of the 52 Earth, 9-2 entrance birth, 52 Earth. When you break it up, this over here, you get Pluto, 84. 84. You get Mars, 51. 51. Plus, we already did 7286. When you do 7286, look what we get here. If we remove it by the time we started with BC, with the Mayans. But also, let's use the date of the 25,000 years also against this. We must go on all levels, and we must know reason. Reason and equation equal answer to the understanding of what and why. What is there, where was it, and what does it do? It's just a period of time that they mentioned. These numbers come out, and my numbers connect to brown. My numbers connect to big, red dog, caught in a cat's cage. Okay? 36 times 2, 43 times 2. Now we would like to figure out 41 to 51 is 10. 72 to 84 is 12. 22. 110. 110 stories of the Twin Tower. Something has been born in between all of this. Pluto and Mars. PM, menstrual cycle. Which way do you want to go? 13. And here comes the light. 16, 29. Here's your 29. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching half of what there is so much more to say. In the joy and in the act is a cat. I mentioned 34 before. I don't remember what, but I'll remember because I've said that word very often, 34. Raphael 7286. This is the year. We are on the countdown I will not give you how many days because I do not know the days. What I do know is that on October 4th of 2014, I will blow the horn. And then I'll have a little Chivas Regal, gulp it down, get a heartburn, go home and say, why did I do that? Or end up at my mother's, actually, on that day. Pretty big schedule. I also know what I'm doing next year. Going to my mother's on Passover. And the year after that, until the end of time. Thank you for watching.